Hello and welcome to a not so awesome review, and today we're looking at the Dragon Ball Z Figurized Standard Super Saiyan Goku by Bandai. And, first things first, this is probably one of my favorite Gokus ever made. Don't get me wrong, I really liked the figure art Super Saiyan Goku when it came out. I think the Awakening Goku is really, really good. Probably one of the best figures for Goku ever made. But, I don't know, this one is just, it's it's really awesome. That's probably the best way I can describe it. The scale on it, I think, is a lot better. It's a lot of a taller figure. The articulation is pretty good. The way the figure looks is awesome. The sculpt is awesome. The paint, obviously, is stuff you're going to want to uh, kind of get into yourself, if you want to add shading and all that stuff. But as a plastic model, that's what you do to a plastic model. You add the paint to make it look as nice as you want, or change it up if you want in any way using, acrylic paint, enamel paint, airbrush, spray can, your choice. Anyways, before we get started on the review, I do want to actually talk about the box, because I think it's actually awesome that Bandai did this. Shows that, they're catering to a more Western audience, at least with the Dragon Ball Z figures, because the box is translated in English. There is Japanese and English on the box. I don't know if there's a version of this box that only has Japanese. I haven't gotten one that hasn't been distributed by, that has not been distributed, I should say, by Bluefin, which, if you don't know, Bluefin, let's see if I can get that in there, right there. It's just a I can't say that word. The company that distributes the model kits in America to other companies to sell to us. There was an easier way to say that, but I cannot say that word. So, if you get one without it, doesn't mean it's fake or anything. It just means that it was imported by an individual instead. Usually the Bluefin ones will be shrink wrapped. In Japan, typically you buy a model kit, it's not shrink wrapped, so don't freak out if it doesn't have the Bluefin sticker and isn't shrink wrapped. Just, make sure all the pieces are in there, which they probably will be. And, yeah. But, like I said, it's cool that we have this translated in there. You see instant transmission at your fingertips. 2 different facial expressions. Normal, shouting, 2 different Kamehameha effects. We even actually have a kind of bio right here, which is kind of funny. If you guys want to read that, go ahead and pause the video and check it out. But anyways, let's get on to the instructions really quick, because I know a lot of people who have been thinking about getting these or are getting these aren't really big on model kits. They've maybe never touched one before. I know there's plenty of people who are buying these and have built Gundams their whole lives or stuff like that, but Dragon Ball Z is such a big kind of entity, I guess would be the right word, that, action figure collectors do want some of these figures. Mostly I see them going after the villains, because we have Kid Buu out, which has not been released in figure arts form. So they're going after this version of it. And for anybody sitting there wondering, well, can I put it together? Is it hard? Is it easy? I can definitely tell you that it is easy. If, for someone who isn't going into, let's say, nub mark removal, shaving things down, getting rid of seam lines, it really won't take you that long at all. I didn't do any of the seam line removal because I'm not that good at it. I did do some nub mark removal, so the model took me about an hour to complete, but if I was just going straight at it, 10 to 15 minutes max is what it would have taken to put together. The instructions are really simple. The box comes with 7 runners. 5 of them make up the figure himself. 1 makes up the effects, and the other one makes up the stand. And yeah, the instructions have been really, first of all, simplified. I mean, this instruction book is actually pretty huge compared to a regular high grade for a Gundam. They are in English. They'll tell you how to cut the pieces on the first page and everything. You can see here. If you've never put a model together, the simple premise is that the 7 runners have all the pieces of the figure or effects and everything like that, and it'll tell you C226 and C227. So you'd find the runner labeled C2, and then you'll go through that and find number 26 and 27 and put them together. And it's as simple as that, and I'm telling you, it is simplified because this is a Gundam one, and you can see that there is a lot more stuff going on. So, I mean, even the size difference of the manuals is pretty good. I don't know if you guys can tell because of the light, but yeah. Anyways, let's get on to the accessories and we'll move on to the figure. Alright, so accessory-wise, we do get 2 pairs of hands, plus the instant transmission fingers, 2 faces, and 2 different Kamehameha effects. One's more like a charging one, and the other one's the actual effect being shot out. And there is a stand, though it won't hold up Goku more or less at all unless you add some type of counterweight to the back. It will hold up the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but that's because his hair actually acts as a counterweight for that. So just a heads up on that. But let's see if I can keep this in frame. If you disconnect this piece, which shouldn't be that hard, there we go. And there goes the bottom part. You can plug this into the Kamehameha, so you can have a stand going on for that. It's not a fancy stand, you just kind of pull the piece out and in to kind of get the different height on it. It's an alright, I mean, it's at least it came with something, so it's better than nothing, I guess. At the very least, it works good for the Kamehameha effect if you want to use it. I'm not a big fan of it, I feel like it's a little too small. Kamehamehas in the show aren't, I don't know, I guess it varies on the level of the attack, but I don't know, to me it just feels kind of small. The 2 faces, one yelling face and one kind of not angry but not happy face. All of these but the instant transmission hand, by the way, are shaded with a little bit of orange in case you're wondering. So this isn't the real color of the model. If you do want to see what the skin tone looks like not painted, this is pretty much it. It's a good color. I mean, it's better than the pinkish color we got for the original Super Saiyan Goku for the figure arts. This charging effect, you know, it's alright. I have no problems with it. It comes in 3 pieces when you put it together. And, yeah, one other thing to note, I haven't painted it, but the face here, the tongue, that's a sticker right now. But there is actual kind of a little bit of detailing on the tongue, so I'm going to end up painting that at some point. Here's the other face close-up in case you guys want to check it out. You can see aside from the instant transmission finger, we do get a pair of fists that are pretty decent, nothing to complain about. And some Kamehameha type hands. You can use them for other things, but I mean, let's be honest, they're basically Kamehameha hands. Only thing lacking here that I do wish we got with this would be blasting hands, even some type of fighting posing hands that aren't the Kamehameha ones would have been cool, but at the very least blasting hands would have been nice. But you know, you get what you get. I do hope that at some point Bandai will release kind of accessory packs for these figures, like different hands, different faces, maybe just the normal Goku hair, so we don't have to buy an entire other figure. The reason I say that is because if you buy the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he is the exact same body mold as the Super Saiyan Goku, and I mean, it's the same runners, everything is exactly the same, except for the 2 faces that he comes with and the hair. That is the only difference, otherwise they are exactly the same color, same everything. So that's a little bit disappointing. But anyways, let's move on to the figure. Alright, so here we have the Goku, and as you can tell, he's missing a few pieces. I just wanted to show you guys really quick how easy it is to kind of change the faces. It's really reminiscent of the figure arts. You know, the face and the hair come off. So first you remove the hair, then you remove the face that you don't want, and you can add a new face on, just like that. Get the hair, and just kind of peg it in there. And there we have Goku with a face. His hands are really simple. Let's see, where are the other... Oh, there we go. The fist just kind of pops in there. If you want to take it off, pops out, no problem. Not afraid of breaking these pegs at all. Figure arts, definitely got to be a little bit more careful. You got to be a little bit more selective, because if you put it in wrong, his hands won't move, they'll move that way, but they won't move up and down like that. I don't know if they fixed that problem with future releases, but I know that's something with the original Goku. And I will be doing a slight comparison, at least a side-by-side comparison, at the end of this review, so keep tuned for that. But anyways, first of all, the sculpt, I think, is done really, really well. And that's one thing that's cool about model kits, is that the sculpt can be done really well. You may not like the paint job, but because of the type of plastic that's used and everything, it is a lot easier to paint it and not have a fear of the paint coming off, kind of like when you customize an action figure, Marvel Legends or anything like that. The plastic really isn't meant to be painted over, and the joints are in certain ways so that if you bend an elbow and you haven't kind of shaved away some of the plastic there, you will get paint rub. Not the issue with model kits and not the issue with this Goku. So again, I'm treating this as for people who've never done model kits. I know there's probably people watching this who have, so sorry if some of the information is kind of redundant. I just want to cover all bases on this review. I probably won't talk about it much in other ones, 40 figure rise figures, but yeah, the sculpt, mine's a little bit dirty, is really nice. We do get some pegs back here, which I do wish we could have kept hidden. It would have definitely been easy for them to do that, but for some reason they kept it so we can see them. The pants are done really nice. The boots, I think, look really good. I haven't painted the little shoelaces, but I did paint the red on the boots with some enamel paint because I did not want to use the stickers for that. He has been shaded a little bit. He does have a matte finish on him, and overall, look-wise, sculpt-wise, I think it's done really well. Proportion-wise, he looks great. I do really like the face. I think it looks really well, and I do like how they actually made it, because it's in 3 pieces. We have, well, 4 pieces. We have the mouthpiece, the pupils, and in between there, we have the white part of his eyes. So all of this is a separate piece. The eyebrows, the eyes, the pupils, the mouth, all a separate piece, which at first I didn't know what it would, if it was going to look good or not, but after having it together, I think it looks really good. It's layered in there, but it's in pretty tight. You can't really tell that it's not one piece, but at the same time, I guess what I'm saying is, if it was painted on, or if it was stickers, it wouldn't look that great, but the fact that it's all layered, I think really helps sell the face sculpt and make it look really, really nice. Articulation wise, he can't look up too much. You can see he can look up a little bit, but you can tilt his waist back so he can look up a lot more, and that actually looks pretty natural to me, if you ask me. He can look forward. His neck does move, and he can look down a pretty good amount. He can turn his head, I believe, all the way around. Yeah, all the way around, and get a little bit of side-to-side action there. Like I already showed, he does have kind of a ball hinge on the top and the bottom of his waist, so he can bend down a pretty good amount, bend back a pretty good amount, move side to side, decent range, and he can rotate side to side. The bottom part of this peg, this ball peg, can rotate all the way around, but the upper part with the shirt here can't really rotate all the way around without it getting stuck, so just a heads up there. The arms, you can see, have this kind of butterfly type joint going on here. It does leave a giant gap that you can see in there, but if you pose it right, it's not going to be that noticeable, and you don't even need to spread it out too much to get good arm movement. You can just push that in. His arm does rotate a good amount without that. You can see the blue is disconnected and on his actual shoulder, so that moves up and down. It's the only part that I don't like too much, but it does help kind of hide the little gap that's going on there. He does have a single jointed elbow, but it's a really good single jointed elbow. I mean, that's a really good bend right there. I already showed the arms rotating basically, or the hands I should say, rotate in all directions. He does have a upper arm swivel right there. No lower arm swivel, in case anyone's wondering. And let's see, he does kick forward a pretty good amount. He has those, feet that kind of can peg down, so he can kick forward even a lot more, which is unnatural, but it's there. He can kick back a pretty good amount. He does have a single jointed knee, but again, like his arm, his knee bends really, really well. And I really like how they did this, where they continued the pattern for the pants and everything, so it looks, I don't know, more natural. Like, there's no ugly gapping going on or anything. It looks really good, and it just hides back up once you move the leg back up. His boot does rotate left, right a little bit, but not too much. It does stop. We do have his ankle moving up a little bit, not too much because of the shoelaces. They can move back a pretty good amount. They do rock side to side, and yeah, that's pretty much that on the articulation. So articulation wise, he's good. He's not super articulated. You know, some figures have more, some have less, but I think this has the right amount. You know, you can get him into a good variety of different poses. He looks great. Really have nothing bad to say about it, aside from if you're not a fan of having to kind of paint your own figures or do detailing to your own figures, then that might be the only frustrating thing, because he's not going to look super good out of the box, but he doesn't look bad by any means. Like I said, the only downside, but, you know, companies do this all the time, and Figuarts, which is the same company, you know, is guilty of the same thing. The Super Saiyan 3 Goku is the exact same body mold as the Super Saiyan Goku. So really, if you don't even care about having two of the bodies out, all you have to do is build the head when you buy the other Goku, pop it off, and pop it onto this one, and you will be set. If you want to check out the hair, or the face right there, and the hair is painted on this one, not on that one. It is translucent when it comes. So yeah, I'm not a super fan of translucent color, but it is growing on me a little bit. Anyways, let's move on to a few comparisons. As you can see here, this Goku does stand a pretty good bit taller than the Figuarts Goku, which is, what is that, just above 6.5 inches to the top of his hair, and the Goku is just about 7.25 inches to the top of his hair. Though if you go by the face, he's actually a pretty good size when it comes to putting him next to a Marvel Legends and a Mezco figure, which I will be doing in a second. I just want to talk about these two, which are kind of your choices right now for Gokus. At least in this uniform. I mean, we do have this Awakening Goku, and we have the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Goku, but none of those are like just normal, either beat up or non-different costume Goku, which he doesn't even wear that much. I say costume, but you know, different gi, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, paint-wise, even without the added shading or anything, I do like how this Goku looks. The pink on here to me is a little bit weird. I'm not a fan of the face on the Figuarts as much as I am with the one on the Figurize. You know, you can do a little bit of a comparison here. I feel like this one is just a little bit too, like, they went overboard with the detailing. I mean, even his teeth, you can see little gaps and stuff. This one, not really. I think the eyes look a little bit better on the Figurize, but again, that's going to be all really opinion based. Hand wise, at least he comes with more accessories and you don't really have to paint him. This Goku, if you want him to have more of this color of uniform, just, you know, buy the right paint, spray it, and you're basically there. I mean, that's the good thing about models. I think, you know, his uniform, I feel like, looks cleaner. It looks better. Especially the gap in the shirt here looks a lot more normal than the gap right in this one. Like, it's too much. I don't know. That's just me. I do hope we get an updated Figuarts Goku at some point. This body mold has been used a lot, which brings me to my next point, is that, yeah, although it sucks that all you have to do for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku is really put the head together, and you can just pop it on this one. Obviously, you can put the body together, and they're the same body, but the same can be said, really, with the Figuarts. I mean, Gohan is pretty much the same as this Goku. The only difference is the head and the paint job on him. So, you know, you can't really fault one figure over the other for that. I mean, like I said, they're the same company. A few things I do want to mention before I forget is if you're going to be putting this together, if you've never done a model kit or anything, getting something like these clippers is a good idea. These are, I'm not really sure, they're hobby something or other, but I know that doesn't help you. I will have a link in the description for the ones that I bought. You can just go out to like your local hardware store and buy some side clippers like these. They basically function the same. They're just a little bit thicker than the other ones, but you know, I've used these for years and I've not had an issue with it. The only other thing you might want to get is an X-Acto knife or a hobby knife to kind of cut away the nub marks, though obviously be careful because I have definitely cut myself plenty of times and I don't want other people hurting themselves because of advice I gave them. Anyways, let's move on to a comparison with some Marvel Legends and Mezco figures and wrap this review up. So as you can see, height-wise, the figurized Goku definitely comes into scale with Marvel Legends and these Mezco figures. He does stand a little bit tall compared to them. He is a little bit bulkier compared to the Spider-Man, who is naturally a skinnier character, to be fair. Their heads kind of come up to almost the same. I think Goku's head is a little bit taller. Obviously, the hair makes him taller, but, you know, his hair goes up. That's kind of his trait. Compared to the Captain America, they're kind of around the same when it comes to bulkiness. His pants definitely flare out a little bit more, but I think they stand into scale really well. So if you're into any ABCA stuff, you know, figure photography and all that stuff, he's definitely at a better scale than the Figuarts Goku, who stands a lot shorter than both of them. But yeah, anyways, final thoughts would be check him out. He is cheap. He is around 20 to 30 bucks on Amazon. If you have Prime, it's definitely a lot cheaper to get. Don't get it from specialty stores or eBay. I do definitely recommend checking out Amazon first because they're the cheapest I found it. So there is that. I know Barnes & Noble was selling model kits for a while. I've seen Goku there a few times for regular price, which is around 30, 36. So if you don't want to wait, you can try and check out your Barnes & Noble. Anyways, that is my review for the Super Saiyan Goku Figurize model kits. I think he is an awesome figure. He's built really well. He doesn't really fall apart on you in any way. All the pieces once put together are pretty snug. He can be taken apart. I have taken him apart a few times to paint him, in case anyone's wondering. So it's not impossible to take him apart, but he does fit snug, you know, no loose joints or anything like that on him as of right now. Obviously, the more you mess with it, the more wear and tear he will get, but he is solidly built. I think it's a really great sculpt, and I think it's a really awesome line, and I will be trying to review all of the Figuarts figures, except for maybe the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because it's basically the same figure. I know that the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta have just come out. We were supposed to be getting Android 17 and 18 pretty soon, and Trunks' Time Machine, and, you know, there was a preview of Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, Beerus, regular Boo, yeah, just a lot of figures already kind of announced that we'll hopefully be getting soon, and hopefully a lot more to come. Like I said, my only criticize here is that we don't get enough accessories when it comes to hands. I do wish we would at least get blasting hands and maybe a few different facial expressions. If Bandai could release kind of a pack like they do with their Gundam weapons, where instead of it being weapons in different hands, we would get, you know, hands for, let's say, here's a set for Goku, here's a few extra hands, here's a few different expressions, and a non-Super Saiyan, you know, hair and face. That would be awesome, so we don't have to rebuild an entire figure. Or if they want to do Goku with his other uniform that's more like the Awakening Goku right here, that'd be awesome. I'd be okay with, you know, building another Goku if it's a different uniform. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about this right now. I will have some pictures here at the end of the video if you guys want to check it out. If you want to see more pictures, you can go on my Instagram, which there is a link in the description down below. And that's pretty much that. I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.